Hey guys!
Hey.
Welcome to W&L Review. Today we are reviewing the movie Maleficent. It was made in 2014 and it's rated G. It's directed by Robert Stomberg and it stars Angelina Jolie, Ellie Fanning, Charlotte Copley, and Sam Riley. And it's of course loosely based on the Disney 1959 adaptation of Sleeping Beauty. And with that being said, I'll let my mom explain the film.
Okay. So, the film starts off, and it starts off with Maleficent as a child. And as a child, she's very sweet, she's very trusting, and it's explained that she was a fairy. And so her ability to be able to um, fly and go from one area to the next and everything. And she had all sorts of fairyland creatures that were her friends. And while she was a little girl, she becomes friends with a regular human boy. And through the years, they spend more time together and they become more fond of each other and end up falling in love. And shocking. Um, anyway, in this time, uh, he also starts to change, and she sees a change in him. And he has made a promise to the king that he will be able to go over into the fairyland because he already can. He already can go over because he's a friend of Maleficent's. And but he promises this king that he will rid the kingdom of these fairies and any winged creature that is a fairy creature. And the king says, well, if you can, then you will become king, and I will pass my kingdom on to you. And so he decides, even though him and Maleficent have they've fallen in love, but they've kind of sort of started to drift apart. He calls to her one night, and she comes to greet him, and they reminisce about when they were young. And unbeknownst to her, she was drugged. He knocked her out, and when she was sleeping, he cut off her wings. And just being a doggone dirty birdie, which, all through the telling of Sleeping Beauty, you're told that she was just this meanie, just wanted to pick on Aurora, who, was just born, and that's not really the whole story. Anyway, as time goes on, this king ends up being, he ends up marrying, and he ends up being the father to Aurora. And everybody in the kingdom is invited except Maleficent. Well, of course, this news is rather upsetting because, she's the only one that's not been invited out of everybody in the kingdom. Other fairies are invited, other creatures are invited, others are invited, not her. And the only reason he didn't invite her is because he knew what he did to her many years before was wrong. And as in the story of Sleeping Beauty, the three fairies, they come and they have the, we give her beauty and we give her grace, and then before the third fairy comes to give her blessing, or yeah. Anyway, Maleficent comes, and this curse is put on Aurora But the third fairy says, "Don't worry, King. I still haven't done my blessing for her, and my blessing is that she will fall into a deep sleep until she's awoken by love's true kiss, by true love." And the king's like, "Whatever, that's not even real, it's not even real." And the queen is sitting there going, "Oh, wait a minute." I can only imagine what she's probably thinking, like, "Well, now, wait a minute, I married you, had a child together, you're telling me that." Anyway, so the three fairies, as in the original, they take Aurora to a cottage and they raise her from infancy to 16 years old. But in the meantime, in the old story, it says that Maleficent was very mean and she was out to get, out for blood to cause trouble for Aurora. But in this telling of the story, she goes and she wants to, because she knows that Aurora is the child of this man that she grew up with and loved, and who betrayed her. But then as she sees Aurora for the first time, she has this feeling of compassion and love for this baby. And all throughout Aurora's life, Maleficent was there as a godmother. And it's really neat because as Aurora grows up, she eventually meets Maleficent, and she's not afraid of her because she's seen her all throughout her life and in different places. And so she's comfortable that this is her godmother, and this is somebody who loves her and will protect her at no cost. In the meantime, she then goes back to the kingdom, and because that was her rightful jobby now. She was 16 and she was to go back to the kingdom and be the heir. And Maleficent, before she turned 16, decided to recant on this curse. But unfortunately, because it was a curse and things were already set into motion. But she tried to take the brunt of it as best she could. But when she went back to the kingdom, when Aurora went back to the kingdom, she noticed her father was kind of different. Of course, she'd never met her dad. She didn't know her dad all her life. She'd been with these three goofy fairies. Anyways, and he is just filled with absolute rage and anger and bitterness and you name it, towards Maleficent. And Aurora just is confused. She's done nothing to me. She's protected me. And he tries to hurt Maleficent, and also he tries to hurt his daughter. Maleficent didn't want that, so of course she stepped in, to protect Aurora. And the king and her end up, they in this, she's just standing in this spot, and the king runs at her to try to knock her over the edge of the castle, and he didn't realize that by then she's gotten her wings back, so she can now fly again. And so what took them over the edge of the castle, she could fly, he plummeted to his death. And at the end of that point, Maleficent offered for Aurora to come with her to the fairyland and live there. And she said, "You don't have to, if you don't want to." No, and Aurora was, "No, I want to." And she lived there, And it was kind of neat because in the old telling of Sleeping Beauty, Prince Philip comes in and he kisses her, and she wakes up. And in this telling of the story, Prince Philip comes in and he kisses her, and nothing happens. So Maleficent comes over and she kisses her on the forehead, and she instantly wakes up. And that to me was so neat. As a mom, you love your kids. I truly enjoyed this movie. I like the way that it was done differently. I now like the character Maleficent a little bit more. I kind of feel bad for her. She kind of got the short end of the stick. But that's just me. I have a little trivia for you guys. What was the movie name that Angelina Jolie starred in, where it was a adaptation from a video game? If you know, put the answer in the description or in the comments below. And with that, I will let my daughter tell you what she thought of the movie.
I really also enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really well done. Of course, the actors were amazing. All the special effects and CGI that they used was absolutely amazing. They made the fairy tale characters look really, really believable, and I loved that. I loved pretty much everything about this movie. There wasn't anything that I didn't like about it. The action was great. I thought the storyline was amazing. I loved how they had a new take on a rather old story, and that they were able to change it, not too much that it was horrible, but just enough that it was enjoyable and still a classic. And I think that you guys should watch it if you haven't. My brain's a little tired today. But I think you guys should watch it if you haven't. And thank you so much for watching. If you guys liked what we had to say, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much to Marion, also known here on YouTube as Life Unboxed, for joining our Patreon, and that Nate guy for helping us figure out some things having to do with our channel. We appreciate them so much, and we appreciate all of you guys. You all make a huge contribution to how we appear here on YouTube and how our videos do, and we really appreciate all of your guys' love and support, and we hope that you guys continue to enjoy and like our videos. And with that being said, guys, we're going to talk to you next time. Bye! Bye.